Brad Keselowski wins, breaking his winless streak, and also breaks the winless streak for the Mustang Darkhorse. But we can't even talk about that for a full 24 hours before NASCAR is released its latest gimmick. So let's talk about all that coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Brad Keselowski does it. He breaks the winless streak, 110 races without a win for BK, but he finally gets it done here today. It is also his first win with RFK and his first win since his father passed away, so you know this win meant a lot for him. 36th win overall in his career, and the first win for the Ford Mustang since they switched over to the Darkhorse, since Ryan Blaney won at Martinsville last season. So big win for Ford, big win for RFK, and big win for Brad Keselowski, because a lot of people doubted him when he went to RFK. They said leaving Penske is a mistake, even though Penske didn't want to sweeten his deal. They just wanted to give him the same contract he had. They didn't want to pay him the money that Brad Keselowski thought he deserved. So he went over and became part owner of RFK, and a lot of people said that this was going to be a mistake. He is proving those people wrong today by getting this win, and not only that, but since he has gotten to RFK in 2021, he has completely helped turn that organization all the way around, so everything is trending up, and his teammate looked like he was going to at least have his second place finish, but let's talk about that. So yeah, toward the end of the race, Chris Buescher was winning. He was air blocking Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick apparently had enough of it. He wasn't going to have any more of it. He goes down there and throws a kamikaze move, is just the best way to put it. Throws the kamikaze move, and then after the race, you see this here. Chris Buescher, super unhappy with the way things turned out. He's putting his hands on Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, in my opinion, smart move. If you're not going to do anything, leave the helmet on, because he wanted no part of Chris Buescher here. Complete opposite of 2019 when Cole Custer put his hands on him. Apparently he has a little more respect, or just felt bad here in this particular situation. I think it's going to be, obviously Chris Buescher's upset, and you saw he released this statement right here. Yeah, I was a little pissed. Our whole team deserves to be in victory lane. We keep showing speed like this, and that will happen. I wish it was today. Really looking forward to the 600 after the All-Star race. So yeah, just dejected and angry and pissed off, according to him. So, I mean, can you blame him? But I don't think you'll see anything more come of this. They're usually two pretty clean drivers. You usually don't see this type of thing out of Tyler Reddick, but you saw it today. He got into a moment where he was frustrated. He threw it in there with no chance of that pass ever working, much like Chase Briscoe did to him at Bristol. So at least he does know how it feels, but now he's on the opposite end of it. He was the one throwing the idiotic move in this particular situation, but I don't think anything will come of it. The other moment of drama is also a nothing burger, in my opinion, but Ryan Blaney versus Willaim Byron. He was upset at Willaim Byron for going 3 wide. To which Jordan Bianchi caught this radio communication from him. I'm going to blank both of those blankers is what I'm going to do. According to Ryan Blaney on his radio. If you listen to Ryan Blaney's radio, that is comes as no shock that's what he says on the radio. And then he went up there afterwards during the caution and went up there like he was going to hit the 24 of Willaim Byron, his future brother-in-law, by the way. So I don't think anything is actually going to come of this either, because Ryan Blaney just melts down all the time on the radio. It's pretty much commonplace at this point. Plus, I don't know. He's 155 pounds. I don't know if anybody's necessarily worried about him coming after him anyway. But either way, I don't think an issue is going to come of this either. But those were the two dramatic moments, I guess, from the race. Aside from just the insane battle for the lead, even when it was between Keselowski and between Tyler Reddick, it was just super great racing. And then Keselowski, of course, ends up getting the win, as we touched on earlier. But let's look at the top 10 and who had a good race and a bad race. Brad Keselowski, of course, wins. Good run for Ty Gibbs there, running second. He made a charge at the end, but just could not make up the distance between him and Brad Keselowski. Josh Berry with a third-place finish. A good run for him. Team definitely needed that. They said before the race that they were using Kevin Harvick's old setup, and that Kevin Harvick setup is still looking pretty good there. Denny Hamlin, fourth-place finish. A lot of people expected him to challenge for the win. He didn't have a bad day, but he was never up there really challenging for the win at any point. Chase Briscoe, another solid run for him. And another two top fives there for Stewart-Haas Racing. So Stewart-Haas Racing continues to turn the corner and have a good season. Willaim Byron, despite all the rumors of them selling or whatever's going to happen over there, Willaim Byron ends up in 6th place there. Bubba Wallace is in 7th. Alex Bowman in 8th place. And Justin Haley here in 9th place. Great run for him. This is the best I can ever remember a Rick Ware racing car finishing in a non-super speedway or restrictor plate race. So Justin Haley with a great run here in 9th place. Rick Ware Racing showing that they did put in the time, the money, and the effort to get better in the offseason. Michael McDowell, despite going to Spire, still gets a top 10, so that team responded well and showed that they're going to finish out the season strong, even though their driver is leaving. Ross Chastain 11th, Chase Elliott 12th, Christopher Bell 13th, Noah Gragson continues his great season in 14th, so that is 3 of the Stewart-Haas Racing cars in the top 16. Todd Gilliland 15th. Corey LaJoie ends up 16th. And just to round up the Stewart-Haas Racing deal, Ryan Preece did end up 17th. So that was who were drinking the happy beers. Let's see who's drinking the sad beers, is who had a bad race. And down here, of course, you've got Ryan Blaney. He is the first car on Earth 2, last place on Earth 1. Kyle Larson had a good car today, but they had the left rear tire go down. He ends up smacking the wall. Doesn't finish in that beautiful cornflakes throwback scheme to Terry Labonte. It's a bad race for him. Tyler Reddick, of course, and Chris Buescher, 32nd and 30th respectively. Definitely had top 5 cars at the very least, and cars capable of winning as well. So bad race for them. Now let's get to the points and see how the points look after Darlington. Kyle Larson continues to lead by 30 points over Martin Truex Jr., 39 points over Denny Hamlin, who is in 3rd place. Chase Elliott, 4th place. Willaim Byron, 5th place. Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman round out your top 9 there. Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski moves up to 11th and locks himself in with that win. Chris Buescher, 12th. Kyle Busch, 13th. 14th for Chase Briscoe. 15th for Christopher Bell, who would be the last driver in right now, except he's already won, so he's locked in anyway. But Bubba Wallace in 16th right now would be bumped out by Daniel Suarez, who has a win, who is in 18th. And him and Joey Logano would be the first 2 drivers on the outside looking in, followed by Austin Cindric. And with that win from Ford, the manufacturer standings now look like this. Chevrolet at 477, Toyota at 470, and Ford right back in the ball game at 438. A few more wins, and they will be right back in the mix of this thing. And normally this is where we would end it, but while this was happening, NASCAR released some more news while I was helping Craig get Tate Fogelman's engine in his car to go race the late model race at Wilkesboro on Wednesday. So check it out, 87 car, that is the car. I won't be at Wilkesboro, but 87 car is the car I was helping on, so feel free to pull for them. But NASCAR dropped that they're going to have a in-season tournament. So let's just get into the details of it, and then I'll give the positives and negatives of it. NASCAR announced on Monday that it will add a new twist to next season's races with the TNT Sports portion of the 2025 Cup Series schedule featuring an in-season bracket-style tournament. The prior 3 races airing on Prime Video will set the seeding for the tournament as the sanctioning body tries the new concept during the first season of its historic 7-year media rights deal. With the launch of our new media rights partnership in 2025, we're excited to partner with Prime Video and TNT Sports to collaborate on fan engagement concepts that drive storylines in our sport and innovation from a production perspective, said Brian Herbst, NASCAR SVP, Media and Productions, in a press release. Having head-to-head driver matchups for each one of TNT's NASCAR Cup Series races will add a compelling fan engagement element across media platforms like TNT, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, and NASCAR digital platforms. All drivers are eligible for the seeding races, and the top 32 drivers from those events airing on Amazon Prime Video will qualify for in-season tournament that starts with TNT Sports' first race. Seeding will be based on the best finish in 3 Prime Video races, with tiebreakers determined by next best finish, followed by season points position. Drivers in season tournament on TNT Sports and Max will compete head-to-head, with the higher finishing driver advancing over 5 rounds. The higher winner of the in-season tournament will get to take home $1 million. And then they went on to say a bunch of other crap. Basically, here's basically what's going on. It's a different way of doing the Winston Million. It's 32 drivers. I think it's 5 or 6 weekends, 32 drivers, and then you condense it down to whoever is going to win the million, just like the NCAA tournament, basketball tournament, except it's going to be head-to-head drivers. So whatever driver you're racing against that weekend, you just got to finish in front of him, and then you move on to the next round, so on and so forth, till you get to the winner, right? So, and the winner gets $1 million. So pretty easy to understand. Why are they doing it? Why are they throwing another gimmick mid-season? They're hoping it'll help with the ratings, just like the NBA did their in-season, mid-season basketball tournament, which means absolutely nothing to the fans, okay? To be totally honest with you, the fan engagement he's talking about, he doesn't want to come right out and say it. It gives you something else to bet on. So now you got something else to bet on as far as this type of stuff goes. That's all it's really going to be about. That's the fan engagement that it's going to help. And hopefully it'll boost the ratings for NASCAR because, it's going to give people more reasons to watch what they've, basically bet their money on. So that's 100% what it's all about. In my opinion, it's not going to spice up anything. It makes sense from a TV perspective. NASCAR is doing everything they can from a TV perspective. And I'll probably make a separate episode on this later, but that's basically what's going on with the in-season tournament. That's why they're doing it. It's a different way of doing the Winston Million. I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with it, but what my criticism of it is two things. One thing is it's another gimmick, and all the fans really want is a legitimate point system that awards a champion that makes sense to normal people, where you don't have to explain to them the system 15 or 20 times before they can get it, if they ever get it. That's all the fans really want. But instead of NASCAR focusing on that, NASCAR is focused on mid-season things to help the TV partners instead of the fans. And the reason this is an issue, from on paper, that looks like a smart thing to do. Hey, we're making the TV partners happy. But if you continue to not listen to the fans and not do what the fans want to do, then the fans are going to go away, and those TV partners, when the fans go away, are also going to go away. So this, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, except for the fact that it's another gimmick that fans didn't ask for, right? It's the brainchild of Denny Hamlin. Okay, but it's really the brainchild of the NBA, right? It's just a stolen concept from the NBA. But I think after the first 3 years, this gimmick will wear off, and nobody will really care about it other than the people that have, like I said, put a little money on it or something like that. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just think that NASCAR needs to focus on things that are more important to the sport, like fixing the short track package, having a championship system that makes more sense than the current championship system that we have now. Things like that I feel like are more pressing, burning issues than just another gimmick in the middle of the season. But I don't know. That's just my initial take on it. I need to go back and look at all the nuts and bolts of it and figure out exactly how I want to phrase this and say all this. But yeah, that's what's going on. But yeah, that's all I got for you on this one today. If you made it this far, I would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll just keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you guys as well. And if you have a question or comment, I try to get to as many of them as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.